Yeah, this is about Nick. You can see he's happy and they're thanking us for everything we do. So the first 2 months was not easy. The first month I wasn't even there. I just heard about how difficult it was. Everyone comes in and it takes them sometimes a month or two to sort of like land, sort of level out. But I am so proud of him. He's probably thought about leaving my sober living every day because it's hard. You're not just abstinent from drugs and alcohol at Graceland. You're being held accountable by all your peers, and the people who have been in my house longer, they know the drill, so that they kind of they'll pull you up, they'll call you out. You're not going to get away with the same shit you got away with before you came here. So and Nick just has he really has a great heart. I don't think I've ever heard him talking shit about anyone, and I don't want to do that either. I don't ever want to talk about other people or negatively about other people. So yeah, Nick's doing great. Everyone else in the house is doing great. Well, there's a few people that are. It's just difficult. It's really difficult. That's why I wanted to stream the groups and the dinner, so you guys could understand like really how hard this is to do, and how long it takes, and how many chances an addict needs. We're gonna fail, we're gonna fall, and we need people that are able to like forgive us and embrace us and have grace. Graceland, I'm happy that this is all working out, and I thank you guys for just all the people that are being positive. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and if you're still looking for a reason to hate, that's what your life's gonna be. If you that's what you do all the time, that's what your life will be. It will just be a negative like cesspool of hate. So, but you can change that right now. Show some love. I think if you hadn't been to all those other places,
I probably wouldn't have handled this that well.
You wouldn't understand. Right. And I can't believe that
because you didn't know that I was an institutional person.
Not
before.
really.
You didn't.
No.
You just thought I was a TikToker.
Right. And I was thinking optimistically, and it was a reckless decision.
And look how God works.
Because I have to be careful with like who comes in here that has like a big following. Because there's really been no one's ever really came in here that had as much attention as him. And if you have attention, you have a microphone. Basically, you can say bad or good things about us, which, you know what, I don't fucking care anymore, because if I'm telling the truth, there's been too many people have tried. You can't even cancel us because there's nothing that they haven't said. They've already said it all. We've already been accused of everything, so what more do you got? There's nothing more to say. You know what I'm saying?
And at the end of the day, like, my life is so completely different living here than it ever has been in the most positive way.
You feel the structure?
It was hard for me to accept, and it was hard for me to get through at first, and then I landed, and now I'm back in program mode, and I'm loving it.
You are, okay. A lot of the times you're loving it, and when you're not loving it, you're vocal about it, and we deal with it, and you work through it. Literally,
I might cry.
This is what I say to people. I say, if you're here, I'm proud of you. I don't care if you got words on the table. If you're still here, Keaton's got a bunch of words. He's still here. I'm fucking proud of him. Every minute that people stay here, I'm proud. So that's what's nice is I don't even need to know what's going on with the person. If they're here, I know they're growing, and I know I'm proud of them because it's a hard fucking program.
You know they're safe.
Hello, I got places to be.
Nick's doing all right. I'll answer questions as they come. I don't really know where to start today. Last week's kind of been a little bit difficult with Valentine's Day and just being away from family and whatnot. A little chilly, a little chilly. I wear a couple layers as a result. Nick actually got a job. He's doing good. So, hello. I think Nick will be on a little bit later, and so he can touch on certain points if you guys wanted to ask him. No problem. And yeah, things are going pretty good since my last check-in with online, and you know, what's my skincare routine? I mean, Dove soap usually. Let's see, how's my day been? Day's been all right, a lot better than the last few days. You guys are funny. But yeah, no, like I was saying, Valentine's is a little bit difficult for me, so staff were kind of helping me out. Hopefully I'll be getting on track with getting my situation with my job squared away. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, I do post-production in audio and video, mixing, mastering, editing, etc. So trying to bring that to the table here, work on a few things as well. But yeah, no, got some good news from the fam, so a few people should be wanting to talk to me, who I haven't talked to in a while, hopefully. So that would be a major plus. Yeah, it's been a long time, long time. So that's good. Let's see. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm kind of an open book. Don't really mind talking about my past, what's going on, whatever. If you guys got questions about the place, they're good people here, they care. It's been, it's got its ups and downs, but I feel that the positives outweigh the cons, worst kind of consequence here, unless you do something stupidly outlandish, would be words. So, as far as the dinner lives, we've kind of stopped that. This week, my chores essay monitor, just kind of a twist of fate, but, let's see. Nick's doing good. Yes, it has been a lot more professional around here. Staff's doing a really good job at making that kind of a thing. They're taking our input. Let's see here. The community around here is recovering pretty good. We didn't really get hit with the fires too much, and Madison and a few others have been doing charity work, locally. So it's been a huge help to the community around here. So that's always a benefit. I always like charity work, benefiting everybody. So that's a plus. Yeah, no, it's definitely been really good. I've seen a lot of good things happen since I got here, and even in the last week, Oh, okay. That's cool, Devin. Yeah, I was at a extreme place before, and so I know kind of what extreme is, but I wasn't doing any substances at the time. I'd maybe had a can of air, but that's about it. And I went to Provo Canyon School, Utah, and that was absolutely insane. Yeah, when I went to Provo, it was very scarring, and I had PTSD from it. I was beaten and whatnot, for your 3 months, 11 days. It was very, very crazy over in Provo, but here there's none of that. It's definitely a safe place. And I was very reluctant to come here even because of that experience in Provo. And when I got here, the people were very accepting and, just got to know me. And so, it was a lot more positive than I thought, Oh, that's good, Devin. Yeah, I'm very supportive as well. Let's see. I just read these comments here. Magers, how did that work out? Like right now, I'm actually here. I was sentenced to here from jail. I was served 6 months for something I did not do, and basically got landed here, thankfully, instead of spending 4 years in prison, which would have been horrible. And yes, as far as the response, or as far as the consequences, rather, it's mostly writing for the behavior modification. And a lot of community support around here, encouragement, letting each other know what's going on. That's always cool. It's definitely very community-based here, versus the staff directly intervening all the time. It was a huge problem in Provo. And Megers, that's really good. Like a lot of people in jail, I think it's a recursive cycle that really devastates the community, especially when people get out. Jail promotes, segregation and just, like almost anarchy, like on the streets. Whereas, actually, helping people get, treatment, especially those who seek it, it's a really positive thing. Yeah, definitely. And part of one of my jobs, let's just say I run Cali Courier Co-op, I was trying to make sure people, don't do the bad. They invite good into their lives. Make sure they don't, have any issues, as far as, long term or anything, and, can have a happy life. Let's see here really quick, just going back on the comments. As far as my health, I've been really tired from the pancreatic cancer scenario that I'm dealing with. And Medi-Cal is very slow to do a lot about it. Graceland's very supportive. But at the same time, I don't really have too many options other than radiation, chemo, or surgery, at least while I'm here. I've done other research for over 20 years on other things that I want to dive into when I'm out, but medically. And then asking about Nick again, and he's doing good, actually, really good. A lot better than when he got here, and it's making very positive progressions in his life, especially thanks to this place. Yes, holistic care. Hey now. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, it's been difficult, I'm getting a lot of good encouragement, once I finish this program, because, for here, I don't identify as an alcoholic, I don't identify as an addict. Here focuses on the 12 steps, right? But, since I don't identify with that, it's hard for me to identify with the alcoholic aspect of the whole situation. But I do find it therapeutic in identifying a lot of the issues that I've had in my personal relationships and my personal life, where I place blame and this and that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better than jail. And, looking at a lot of my alternatives to Graceland, I was supposed to go to Impact. And, I've seen a lot of people go back to jail from a lot of these places. So, I mean, there's very few places that really care like Graceland. And they, they really do care. They really do care. They really do care. And yeah, so I was court ordered here, and hopefully I can, resume my life, as soon as possible. But I do have a few things that I want to work out in my own, self, as well as with my family and with my loved ones. And so hopefully I can, reunite and do some things. Basically, my wife and I had split, and when we split, I got with somebody else, as did she, and it didn't work out very well. I would just say Tinder is a bad place to go. And thought I knew this person for, a couple years, and turns out they were really setting me up and just trying to use me. And they got about $5,000 from me, and I took them shopping, and then while they were sunbathing in my pool, I was missing a court date that I had. And basically from there, they busted into my studio at 5 in the afternoon when court ended, almost on the dot. And asked if I went to court, and then I told them, oh shit, I missed it. And so I followed her inside, and she was changing, and then my mom's caregiver came, and she was saying something about calling the police. I'm like, look, we don't need any cops. I mean, it's not like that, we're just talking. And she saw that as an opportunity to run outside and basically, scream, help me. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I go out there, I, tell her to come back inside. She was drunk. She was, also, on other substances. And at that point, the gardeners for the next door neighbors came out. And so basically, when the gardeners came out, they didn't really understand what was going on. So they called the cops, and she came inside willingly, sat down on the couch, talked to my mom and her caregiver. It was very peaceful. I left the area so I wouldn't cause any problems or stir anything up. And when that happened, basically she used that as an opportunity to extort me. She basically said that unless I gave her the rest of my money in my bank account, or give me the money in your bank account and give me your grandma's wedding ring, and I won't tell the cops you kidnapped me. And so she set me up. The kidnapping charge got dropped, but they reduced it to a DV charge, which was crazy. And she there was not a mark on her. I never hit her, never did anything to her. I wouldn't, it's not me. However, the cops in my hometown, they, have really nothing better to do in San Marino. And so, they wanted a case. So, basically, they took me, and, I had to fight that in when I was in jail. And, when I went to jail, they dropped that charge, for the kidnapping. And per that agreement, of me pleading, because I just, I didn't have the money to, no, I never beat her. She basically just made a huge case out of it, and saw it as an opportunity to try to take money from me. That would be pretty crazy to me, to do that. And let's see what else here. But yeah, as far as identifying as an alcoholic or an addict, I don't. I've been able to do the AA test of going to a bar and just having 2 drinks, or actually less. But a lot of it, is, I'm guilty of, really just wanting to love too much. And just being brokenhearted, a lot. I've never had as far as me being innocent, I am. But I did plead out because I was in there for 6 months. I'm diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and they aren't giving any treatment in there for the cancer. And so, that, and, it was costing my mom money to fund for my lawyer. So, basically, it was a better decision for my family if I was able to plead out and come here to Graceland and try to get my family back versus continue this, I don't know what to call it exactly, but, trying to fix my broken heart, and, I think we both, had, our parts to play in it, but, in the end, it takes two to tango, and, I was definitely a part of it, and this is helping me identify those parts in it so that I can be a better person, better man, better husband, and be there for my kids. Like I said, Tinder is probably a bad place to look for a relationship, as a result of my experience anyway. And I thought I knew someone for 2 years, and turned out, it was a worse situation than what I was in, to say the least. My wife cared about me, she just, had a funny way of showing it sometimes, I guess, is what you call it. I have 2 kids that, are mine, and I took on, Zamani is the eldest, and she was from the previous relationship, but I consider her my daughter. And yeah, pancreatic cancer, I'm definitely lucky. I basically was, having, blood in my stool. I have very bad fatigue, things like that. And that's what got me concerned. And so the doctor, left off with, well, there's no other thing it could really be but this. So we're still going through testing and things like that. But, that's pretty much where I'm at on it. So I'm trying to see what, we can do. Mouser, I was court ordered here. I don't have a rug problem. I do smoke occasionally, but, as far as, having like an issue with it, I never did. My personal and work life were never affected by anything. It was fine. When my dad had passed in 2018, I did drink really heavily, but I was able to actually stop doing that. And, it was, kind of a self-destructive behavior that I identified in myself. And, it stopped long ago. But, I came here, Kay, you asked if they court ordered me for rugs. No, it wasn't for rugs. It was for a false charge of kidnapping. And, I don't know how I was able to luckily get to this place in that sense, but the court was willing to let me go to a program instead of going to prison for 4 years. And, I really saw it as a death sentence to go to prison. And, if I had been in there and my health took, turned for the worse, that it was my chance to make sure that I survived. So coming here, originally was, about survival, and I was recommended by someone that was in jail to come here because it actually worked. And I'd heard stories of other places where they would basically, they would take you on and then they would just kick you back to jail and lie on you. And many people told me the same thing, that they were back in jail because the program had kicked them for, something they didn't do. And I'm not willing to take that risk, when it comes to my life, especially over that many years, 4 years. What do you, as far as what program am I in at Graceland, what do you mean? I'm personally, they have things called programs here, but I'm not on any of them. I'm trying to basically work on myself, work on supporting my family. Mouser, I definitely am very lucky. I think the only one, maybe one of 2 that are court ordered here in any kind of way. And, I was very lucky that Danielle talked to me and, recommended me to, come here. Let's see. House of Tuna, you said that you got released to a program rather than jail. Yes. So I got released here. which was, at least it gave me some chance, if my health went south, that I could actually, do well in my life. I mean, I don't think it's a cult. I think that this place is really beneficial and community oriented. Someone who's new here may see it that way, but when they look deeper, the staff is really helpful, really supportive. For instance, I've never had someone that was able to be impartial and still help me with my family, and my wife and, my kids, as far as like a proper moderator, et cetera. And, Zach has offered that, and he's got, his own experiences. Let's see. Well, how would they be causing harm? They make us identify and see our, our defects and this and that. And, Graceland is definitely, recommending that I get, some therapy as well, but also, I think more valuable than therapy, because therapy has always told me that, my life, there's so many external influences in my life that they can't really recommend to do anything except control things I can control, which is true, but it didn't really help with what I was dealing with. Here, Nick hasn't been on live, and they're not using him to collect any revenue. And they're very transparent with anything that they do collect off of live, and they use it to actually support people that are, on scholarship here, and take us to different positive events, like laser tag and other things. As far as my DOC, they haven't really rubbed it in my face. In fact, Pat was very open and told me to discuss the fact that I don't identify having a DOC. Like I said, I smoke, but, as far as anything else, I party, but I, also have an on-off switch. When I need to do business, I do business, and it's never on a schedule with my partying or anything like that. If I want to have a good time, I have a good time. But, as far as, having it be a problem in my life, I could always put things down. But my biggest thing was really having to deal with my personal life, and that's something that I've never been able to deal with until I came here. I've always tried marriage counseling, therapy, friends, and none of them have been able to help support me in any way, shape, or form. And through here, I'm finding people that have similar experiences that I can actually draw on, and they're willing to help, and be there for me. Let me scroll down and read some of these things here. As far as my online schooling, I'm still waiting to get that set up. I'm not sure exactly what's going on yet. I'm waiting to get my phone back. Once I get my phone back, I can start addressing my schooling and things like that. What specific services am I receiving? So, like I was saying, it's, a lot of the community support that I was just mentioning, it's people with similar experiences that are impartial, that, don't tell me I'm stupid for being with her, or don't tell me, like the negative. They really focus on what my part is in it and how I can deal with that, in a positive manner, because you can only really keep your side of the street clean. You can't clean someone else's. So that being said, it's helping me to identify where I would be going wrong, or, I would be making a bad decision. Let me scroll through these comments a little bit because they're stacking up slightly. Let's see, where's the one from... Yeah, they don't have counselors in here. This is more, addicts helping addicts. And, they've been through the program. And, if we need therapy or things like that, we go get that. There's nothing negative about that. In fact, I found doctors to be, in my opinion anyway, a lot of them untrustworthy. I was the reason I was sent to an abusive place called Provo Canyon School, Utah. Look it up, Paris Hilton went there. And, they had to split campuses because of, some abuse that she went through. They split it into Provo and Orem, and it was a very negative experience for me as well. She was there a couple years before me. Let's see here, I'm just going through. Social media can be an addiction for people, and that's why, with certain people that you've mentioned, they are limited in their social media coverage. But I think that they address it in a positive manner to make it something that they can actually handle, in their lives. Let me see, go through here. Yeah, exactly, Ashley. This it's a sober living, it has no certified people, it's not a rehab, this is a sober living. And I'm court ordered, again, the serious charge was dropped. They just, I'm 35, let me see here. I don't mind addressing the negative comments directly, honestly, let's see here, are there any outside supports or services you think you could benefit if from Graceland would allow? Well, they do allow outside supports and services. I have Medi-Cal, so not the best insurance, but it's free. I can get therapy. I can see doctors, but I also see that a lot of it is a waste of time compared to what I'm doing here. I find it more therapeutic, ironically, from people that aren't licensed. I find it more therapeutic having them share their experiences and what they went through and being professionally, respectably professionally. In other words, not licensed professionally, but, they're very professional about how they approach their situation here. And they are able to give me good advice, direct, things. And hopefully, when I get on the phone, with my wife, I'll be able to be directed and the conversation can be moderated if need be. But the last talk we had was actually, very good. Let's see. But yeah, Graceland does allow, a lot of different ways of getting treatment, and getting, different forms of help. Let's see. Let's see. So, have you thought about seeing a DO instead of an MD? I would like to explore my options as much as possible. My issue is I'm on Medi-Cal. So, what is that? Forgive me for being ignorant, but what's a DO instead of an MD? Because I know what MD is, but I just don't know what DO is. But, I want to explore the options as best I can. My issue is the fact that, I'm limited in my resources right now. When my wife and I split, I had to sell the house. I had a substantial amount of money at that time. But, being, having cancer and having to take time off work because of that and the lack of energy, I'm, struggling still here to stay awake during the day. So, it's one thing that I have asked for help with, and it's something that I'm working on. But at the same time, I'm really focused on trying to raise money for my family. My uncle has tried to take my mom's house and put her in an old folks home. And so I'm trying to basically do my audio and video production. And when I do that, everything will fall into place. I'll be able to, basically support the house and everything else. And yes, pancreatic. Yes?
Jose sent me down here.
Okay, cool, bro.
So I'm not gonna rain on your parade. Just to see.
Yeah, no worries, man.
You guys being nice to my friend Jack, right?
Hey, you guys asked for him. Here he is.
It's my boy right here. What's up, Jack?
What up, man? How you doing?
See you today, man. How you feeling lately?
Tired, but better than the last few days since Valentine's. You know what I mean? That was tough.
That was a hard couple days for you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate your support, bro.
Yeah, man. It's, our attitudes determine our reality.
Yeah.
So if we're looking for the negative in things, we're going to find it. But if we're trying to see the positive and the things that we have to be grateful for,
it's definitely going to make a difference.
It
So
does.
I just want to encourage you to try to look for the good things instead of the negative things about how your experience is going.
And honestly, I was seeing the negative things, and then, you know, when it kind of came to a head, they got addressed,
Yes.
you know, like head on, you know, and I appreciated that versus, you know, because I felt like I was being gaslit, and instead of that, I literally...
Feels that way, doesn't it?
It does. You know, because things take time. You know, things do take time, and, you know, they're really dealing one-on-one with a lot of different people here, so it's hard to, like, address every person right away.
Right.
But do they get to it? Sure.
Didn't I have a couple of days where I was like, hey, what's going on? Where's my phone? Where's this?
Yeah.
And the same exact thing happened, right? Mm-hmm. And now I have a little bit more responsibility.
Congrats, man, and you know, congrats on your situation. You know, I don't know what all you want to share, but
You came in right after I did, and you're up next for what's coming for you.
yeah,
So as long as you're doing the deal and they see that there's a shift in some of those behaviors, just like had to be a shift in some of my behaviors, then the world is yours. Like
Oh, yeah.
you're going to be able to get your clients. You're going to be able to work and do all the things that they've been discussing with you for months since you got here. But it was just my behavior was holding me back from having my phone, from being able to even make one single TikTok. And I've only been able to make one, but they give us enough rope to hang ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if we
and
just,
your response to that TikTok was good too. You know, like I mean, that's pretty impressive, dude.
we can't let the good things that we have and like we can't let it become a distraction from our purpose in the house, and the purpose in the house is to get well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, and also too, you know, even, you know, on the outside, it's like, you know, if you're so wrapped up in just one thing, whatever that one thing is, you know, you tend to overlook other aspects of your life.
Right.
And, you know, as such, you know, like, I think that was, you know, a good move and on their part, but a good move on your part to stay with it, you know, because now you're able to, like, handle all these different things and be a better support for your community that you've developed. You know, and I think you're going to come out stronger at the end as a result of that. You know,
I'll be
you already
honest
are.
with you, I hated it while I know I'm still going through it, but like when I was initially, you know, hey, you don't even get to check your phone anymore because we can see that it's a problem for you.
Yeah.
When I was going through that and I was, you know, writing all those words and doing the things that I had to do, bro, I was like, I don't know. I was like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. But what do, Jack? We bunker down and get through it and lean on our residents, on our fellow residents. And we have a community here that supports us through those hard moments and to the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, just like you're about to. That's why I was talking to you. I was like, Jack, you're almost there. Jack, you're almost there. Just a little bit more patience, bro, because you're up next. You're phase 2 now. You know, they're getting ready to get you all the way set up for everything that you need to get done, bro. And then you're gonna be working again. You're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
And I don't know too many other places that are gonna like, you know, be like, yeah, let's get all your production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot of equipment.
A lot of equipment. These people actually know what to do with it. So I think it's pretty awesome, man. And everybody loves you and needs you in this house, man. So I just encourage you to try to look at the positive things, man.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah. I just wanted to check in with you, bro.
Yeah, so far so good. I don't know if you can help me with this. Like, I don't know if I'm doing everything right on here. I mean, he was saying something about using that button right there, and you know, people, invited me to do whatever. I don't know exactly how all this, works 100%. But
What's up, guys? Good to see you today. I'm super busy doing structure-related things and trying to grow here. I hope you guys are being kind to my friend Jack here. He's going to be doing lots of awesome stuff very, very soon. He's already doing awesome stuff with us here in the house, but he's going to be doing some pretty awesome stuff with you guys. Have you been talking to them about what you do, Jack?
a little bit. So I've been addressing like the audio and video
He's
production.
professional, like high quality professional. Did you tell him where you work or who you're associated with?
Yeah, so I mean, I work with Cheetah Records, and they also do production with like Warner Brothers, with Disney, with like Lionsgate, Rogue Pictures, a whole bunch of other different companies.
So he might be looking for artists. He might be looking for up and coming people to work with. And me and him have had a few discussions. I don't know the in and outs of like exactly what's going on with him, but he'd be more than happy to tell you. I do know that I do TikTok, and this is an app that we find all kinds of new talent and new people to share with the world every single day. And if those people want to have professional products to, like, you know, like, hey, I have this sample, I think it's really good. Okay, you send it to a man like Jack and he makes it like professional quality, you know, so maybe we could hang out together and talk to you guys on this app, and you guys could let us know, hey, this is this person's at, he's really talented, talk to Jack about this person, and then they go from there. So I think that would be really cool. I think it'd be an opportunity that we're looking at, right, Jack?
Yeah, definitely.
Be able to find some people maybe locally in the area that want to work with Jack. You know, I don't know anything about audio and video mastering all the stuff that Jack does. Jack is a wizard with technology, and you know, I've heard nothing but good things. So, Jack, I hope you're feeling. I hope you're feeling better today. I hope you're feeling better today.
None of this is literally Nick in, and you know, basically he you know, just wanted to see how I'm doing, whatnot. Well, you know, I'm also new on social media in general. You know, I mean, if you were to actually try to find me, I'm fairly a ghost on the internet. Good luck. But you know, here, you know, it's kind of like uncharted territory. You know, I do a lot of computer work. You know, a lot of the stuff in the underground. Or at least, you know, that's what I did for years. And, you know, now hi Tracy. And, you know, now I do audio and video production. My let me see. How's everybody doing? I appreciate you saying that about me. Maybe elaborate on that one, Sylvan. I'm 35. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. You're awesome, dude. Definitely one of my idols growing up. This has been very positive. You know, it has its ups and downs, but in the end, you know, these guys have been a real positive influence in my life, you know, and whenever I felt negatively or, you know, even, you know, like had similar thoughts as some of the haters, the staff and the people here have literally come in and addressed those issues head on. And, oh, well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like I'm 60, but shit. But but no, they've addressed things head on, and you know, that's, you know, it's been really positive that, you know, let me see here. Well, I don't really listen to the negativity, but I will address it. You know, I mean, you know, being negative away, you know, as long as you're not inappropriate. But yeah, I'm by myself in the room right now. You know, Nick went back upstairs, I wouldn't say it's indoctrination. I mean, honestly, you know, I've been in places, you know, like Provo Canyon School, Utah. That was a cult. That was terrible. That was abusive.
I think you thought it was Nick or what?
No. But let's see.
You know what this is? It's a gift gallery.
Huh.
Little kisses, or little bubble gums.
Huh. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I was telling people, you know, I'm kind of new to the situation, LOL. Let's see.
What was?
God. That's kind of weird, huh?
Right? What's up?
We're just looking.
What do you mean a record?
Share to share, top to top.
Top to top.
Any gift?
Appreciated. Without no mercy.
Mogo. Mogo nakuja mogo.
Wewe mwenye nakuja hapo kwa screen.
It's a recording.
Mogo.
Nimegwae.
Trust me, if it was a recording, there wouldn't be so much space between the talking.
Everybody share.
Cheer.
Okay, so I guess I'm already in here. Oh God. I'm not gonna like interrupt what you were doing.
No, you're good. I gotta go through the comments anyway.
No, I'm not even going to the comments. I just I can see that. I already know what they're on to. They are not that very. They are not that very. They are not that very nice. They have a lot of dumb shit to say.
They do. I was also able to address a lot of certain things head on, you know, and, you know, like they would, you know, try to say a lot of negative, but I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of, you know, things that they're saying, you know, supportive, or if I ever did have a negative thought that aligned with anything that was negative that was said here, you know, they've really addressed it, you know, including Jose here, you know, I mean, he's tackled a lot of things head on, even on his days off when he didn't have to be here.
They don't give a fuck about that. I swear to God, they don't. They're just gonna pick apart everything we say. A couple people that record are here. But hey guys, what's up? Haven't seen y'all in a while. You wanna, what is number 2, number 3? Mean by the names. No, there is, I think Sermon on the Mount's on Friday. I'm living, bro. So yeah, I mean, this is probably like just. See, were they a little rough with you?
Not really. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
You know, and also some of the other people were, you know, kind of chiming into backing the situation up in a good way. Yeah. So it's always a plus.
Yeah, of course. We're gonna do this, do all the recording. Blah. So outside of this, they read my comments but didn't answer. What does the number 2 by my name mean? I don't know. Let's try to figure that out for you. So yeah, so we're about to like. What to take? Did Nick talk about his little job thing?
He didn't really get into it.
Damn, that voice is a little different. No, I'm proud of him.
He was actually mentioning, you know, some of my job stuff.
Oh, you tell him about your whole shebang?
Yeah, like basically, you know, some of the stuff I was working for and doing, and you know, it's fine. You know, I didn't really get into it too much because, you know, I don't want to, you know, project until it happens, but at the same time, you know,
Dakota's in here.
Yeah, so.
But. DC portrait. Bring back dinner lives. We're trying to bring back the live as slowly as we can. This is just us like giving it a run to see where we're at. Cause yeah, we're just trying to make sure everybody have a gift. That's good. Yeah, if you guys want a gift, you guys can give. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
It's just depending on how you guys. How many residents are at Graceland? Not that much, actually. It's probably like 2. 2 residents right now. Yeah. Fran, tell me how you're doing with the family. We said prayers to you. The family's good. I don't want to like take the show from you.
For sure.
You can head up on that.
Yeah, no, they're definitely building a community, and you know, I think they're doing a great job of it. You know, I mean, let's see here. Yeah. And again, I'm not as familiar with how all of it works, but, you know, I'm definitely, you know, getting used to it. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want my story, you know, I'm open to it. I'm not newest member, no. But at the same time, you know, if you wanted to hear the story, so, you know, back when I was 15 years old, well, let's go back a little further in school, you know, I got suspended a lot, you know, I had a lot of social issues. They had me on different medications and things for ADHD. I basically ended up going to UCLA, neuropsychiatric and all this stuff. And, you know, it was during that 90s craze, you know, say, you know, kind of keep it there. You know, I basically felt like I didn't need any of that stuff and my life did a lot better without it. And, you know, and it really did. Let's see. And so, yeah, basically, at 15 years old, when, you know, I, you know, got off of that stuff, my parents sent me to this place called Provo Canyon School, Utah, and it was extremely abusive, without getting too hard into it, because it's, you know, too much for TikTok and whatnot. But basically, you know, if you look at Paris Hilton's story, you can kind of get a better idea of what, you know, Provo Canyon School, or what's called PCS, was, you know, which heightened my, you know, awareness slash paranoia about trying to come to one of these places, you know, and take that as an alternative to going to prison. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But basically, I went there for a year, 3 months, 11 days, and ended up with PTSD from that. And, you know, it took about 17 years to kind of get over a lot of that. You know, I mean, you're never really truly over it, but, you know, stop having nightmares, stop having it affect my day, all sorts of things like that. But when I was offered the opportunity to come here instead of go to prison for basically being lied on, I, you know, it extorted, really. You know, I was really concerned. But when I ended up coming here, I actually found it as a positive, you know, very positive, caring environment. You know, here they, you know, they really focus on, you know, like addressing your part in things. And so how did I find out about it? I basically, when I was in jail for the 6 months, I found out about it from another resident that was here. And basically, you know, they said, you know, this place really worked. And yeah, so it was a deferred sentence, you know, 4 year suspended sentence. And so I'm on probation for 4 years. And I am here from probably anywhere from 6 months to possibly a year. However, you know, I didn't really have any identification as a alcoholic or drug addict, or rug addict rather. And so let's see. No, they don't go into the jails, but they basically ended up. I reached out to them, and they were willing to take me on, and I was very grateful for that, because you know, if they hadn't, I would have been going to this other place called Impact, and I risked, if I went there, that program sending me back to jail just to get the money for the funding, you know, which is a few grand, and that's all I'm worth to them. You know, here it's, you know, it's not about really the money. Do I have kids? Yeah, I've got 2 of my own, and then one that I took on before she was 2 years old. You know, with my wife, you know, who, you know, right now I'm separated. Sorry, Mouser. So basically, the court was allowing me to go here to a program in general. I don't know how I lucked out in coming here, since I didn't have a rug problem. I I think, Mouser's trying to understand why court would have allowed me to come here if I didn't have a rug issue. And, I'll address that in the sense that I got lucky. Rehabilitation, here also does behavior modification. So it doesn't just focus on, carpets, it focuses on, identifying behaviors that we have. And through that, that's been very helpful. And it's brought me a lot closer to being able to talk, and get back with my family. I'm not sure how long this place has been open. I don't go to IOP, actually. I am on, a temporary scholarship. I am going to be working to try to, take care of my bills here, as well as fund my mom, who I owe a little bit of money to, not for any carpet buying, but for basically helping me out on, a few loans. And also getting me in here. But temporary scholarship, they basically didn't give me a time. They said that I could basically get my work situation figured out. And when I got the work situation figured out, I would be able to, then start, taking care of my fiscal responsibilities here. No, it's definitely a great thing. I don't always agree with, some of the, reasons for, but, in society we have rules, and, learning to, not conform necessarily, but to, realize that things happen in life that, are out of your control. I think that's more the purpose of it. And, it does, help. And this is not a rehab. This is a sober living. So sober livings don't really have people with credentials usually. They don't have doctors or therapists here, but people do go to IOP. They do encourage therapists if we need them. So, there's no, the fact that, people online bring up the fact that, they don't have people with credentials here. Well, that's, a little bit of a spun story, because, they don't have credentialed people here, but can we see credentialed people? Sure. Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't go to IOP. I basically, I'll probably be getting a therapist through Medi-Cal, but I find more benefit from talking to the people, and the staff here. As far as how many people are here, I'm not sure if that's a taboo thing to talk about. So what's my story? So, I talked about going through Provo Canyon School, Utah. At that point, I was looking for, powdered donuts, and I did not end up finding them. I found, green leaves, and ended up creating Cali Courier Co-op. I did help a lot of people, not buy carpets, and instead I, helped them, donate a lot of medication things to that cause in a lot of years. And, it's enough to get by, enough to support myself. I was never extravagant, really. But I found a lot more, benefit, helping people than I did, making boatloads of cash off of the situation like so many people. I thank you. I appreciate it. How do you say that? Adelinda? I'm sorry. Let's see. Well, people aren't leaving, like that. People a lot of times don't want to write the words, and they don't see how that, is, for them. And, it's not necessary for some people, and other people, they had no structure in their life. For me, and thank you, Kimmy. For me, it's less of the behavior modification and structure than it is for me to identify personal issues in my life. As far as my health, I mean, it is, it's to say the least exhausting in the sense that I'm always falling asleep. Hopefully that's one thing I hope to fix is my energy levels. How many words have I written so far? Under 30,000. And I've been here since December 6th, I believe. So, for me, it hasn't been too bad. Other people have written substantially more than me. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm definitely, let's see. Jose was, I don't know how much at liberty he's, able to talk about the amount of residents. What's my least favorite? Kitchen cleanup. Why? Because it's a group chore, and I get, grouped with, people, and if they don't hold up their end of the chore, I end up having to take over it. Those 30,000 words or less have been spread out over a longer period of time. So, that being said, it's not like I had to write 30,000 all at one time. I'm just giving like kind of a rough estimate of, where, I might be at. I've had a 5,000, I think another 5,000 or less, maybe a 2.5. And then, actually, I'm on Essay Monitor this week, so I'm one of the people responsible for counting some of those words, if you wanted to know, Kimmy. Let's see, what do I choose to write about? I end up venting a lot. I mean, other people do song lyrics, other people do, what was my biggest offense? Somebody else deviated and got Chick-fil-A when we were picking up another resident and they hadn't eaten in a few days, and that person, I guess, didn't tell staff. So we all got deviating. That was my 5,000 word. The other thing I got in trouble for was having an MP3 player in the blackout period when that MP3 player also had a internet browser. I never gotten in trouble for online stuff, but, I was a little mischievous online back in the day. If anyone, doubt you all know, but, if you know a site, wtalk.org or remusomega.com, those sites are both down now. But that was something I did in 6th grade. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But, it was cool, Let's see. Jose was joking. Yeah, as far as the production company, I work for Cheetah Records. You can look them up. They, do have an online presence to some degree. They did a lot of Miami bass. They do Crunkfest, things like that on the East Coast. And then, I've done, some work for, like we work with Disney, Warner Brothers, like Lionsgate, Rogue Pictures, a bunch of other ones. Basically my mentor, got jobs through them, and then, it's kind of took me under his wing and, wants me to kind of fill his shoes when he retires soon. So, we're hoping to, do some stuff. Band he does is Radioactive Goldfish. You can find him on Spotify and Apple Music. They were kind of big in the 90s, not like huge, but do I have connections that I'm hooking up Ridge Productions with? More skills and maybe marketing. I haven't started doing any of that yet. However, I am definitely offering and putting that on the table. Honestly, I definitely want to use my skills and knowledge for this place. I wouldn't back someone or a company that I didn't morally believe in. They had me selling Nestle water at one point, and except for one person who couldn't go to the store, I really didn't believe in door-to-door sales of that. Sorry, if anyone's from Nestle, but this place I can actually get behind, because they really do their best to try to help people here, And, I think they really address each situation case by case. So, it's hard to get around to everybody. There's more than 2, but, I'm not going to tell you a number. But at the same time, it's a case by case situation. And, you got to remember too, as far as people, staying or leaving, I'm not really going to get into that. But, a lot of people, I don't identify as an addict or an alcoholic, but a lot of people here are, if not all of them. So, as a result, basically, as a result, they're gonna, do what they're gonna do in the end. That we're all adults here. It's not like we have, kids that are, parentally sent somewhere like Provo Canyon School, Utah. These people have free will, they have choice, and, if everyone was assumed to be a cookie cutter, treatment, I think that's what's wrong with a lot of the medical system and a lot of treatments. So, why do they have meetings to try to stop people from leaving? Well, if they didn't care, they wouldn't have a meeting, now would they? I'm not trying to be sarcastic to you, Amanda. I'm really just trying to address the fact that, why? And, the reason is that, if they didn't care, they would let people just walk out the door. But they do, they don't want to see people, pick up their habits again. And, that people, in other facilities, have gotten the call that that their friends have passed on. And so, and I think people leaving should be talked about too by the graduates, says Adelinda. They are talked to by the graduates. That's, they tell people that because the stats, they tell people they'll relapse if they leave. Well, that literally is the statistic. For me, I knew that if I leave, that I probably would, do well in my work. But, if I go out, I'm not going to get the benefit of, trying to get my family back. And that means more to me than just saying, screw it, and I guess it does help that, there's a court-ordered situation here. But at the same time, I have the choice to change facilities. But, why do I not change facilities? It's because I see that the staff are actually invested and the graduates are invested in sharing their experiences with me and actually making what my dreams are, a reality. Why am I court ordered? I got into this a little bit before, but I'll recap that. Basically, I was being extorted for $5,000 and for my grandma's wedding ring. And if I didn't give that to this person, that she was going to report that I kidnapped her. And that just simply wasn't true. She had talked to my mom and her caregiver on the couch, and it was peaceful. And as soon as they left the room, she says, "I have you right where I want you. Give me your grandma's wedding ring and empty your bank accounts." So reverse order. But, empty your bank accounts, give me your grandma's wedding ring, or I'm going to tell them that you kidnapped me. Let's see. There are a lot of facilities that know how to work the system for funding. And the sad thing is that I was looking at going to one of those, and, I don't know how Impact, works, but, there's been a lot of people that I met in jail that were back in jail because they got lied on and then sent back to jail just so that Impact could get that funding. And this place, when I told them that, I can't have my mom paying for this place, and, they're trying to, my uncle has stolen, almost $2 million from my mom. And as a result, she could lose her home. But, this place, was, at first, they thought that she would be covering the bill. But when they found out that, I had to, meet my work obligations to be able to pay, and they, it would be detrimental to my mom, they legitimately, put that on hold. And it was more than the money for them. It was literally just trying to make sure I was okay. So, don't get it twisted. This place, they really do care. If they didn't, they wouldn't put that on the freaking table, to say the least. So say what you want about, places. I agree with that on a lot of places. That's why I was very reluctant to go here in the first place, not knowing about it, but finding out about this place and seeing what they're about. It's not about the money. It's really about helping people, and I mean, I run a couple businesses, and in those businesses, of nonprofit, you're still allowed to make what's called reasonable compensation. Not saying that's what here does, but I like the term reasonable compensation because if you're helping somebody, you deserve some sort of compensation to keep your facility running and, providing these services to people. If you don't, you can't. Everything costs money, everything takes time, everything needs resources. So to say that they don't make some sort of money for what they do, that they don't make some sort of money for what they do, that they don't make some sort of money for what they do, things that you guys help out with by your gifts and other things. So, through that and, getting the residents here, getting their rent, I mean, that really provides them, with a break-even solution to help us, and, they really don't make much money. I've gone over their finances without getting into their finances, but, they don't really make a lot at all, and, they put what they do make back into this. So, for you guys to say that they're just profiting off of us and this and that, the money that you guys, send us, the gifts that you send us, it all goes back into, our activities and, like the other day was laser tag, like I said. We go to the movies, different things. And it's nice to be able to get out into the normal world, I mean, you go stir crazy just sitting in a facility. I got 26 new messages. Let me kind of address some of the things here. Let's see. So what do I intend to do with this after graduation? Well, for one, Pat was in a band. I, grew up on his music. I would love to explore that option. I do mixing and mastering, and I also do audio production itself, so I can make beats and different things, Foley sounds, etc. So I would be able to possibly work with him on some things, and I think that would be kind of a cool little side dream come true sort of situation. That's freaking awesome. Like I was saying before, I can't morally get behind something I don't believe in, but I wouldn't mind like promoting this place, in a positive light because of that, the fact that they are, helping me, I mean, if people want to help me, I'm more willing to help them. I mean, that's just how the world should work. But, a lot of people are in it for greed and this and that. And, I don't really get along with those kind of people, but this isn't like that here. They legitimately, want people to stay so that they can help them. They'll let you walk out the door if you really, really want to. But at the same time, they're going to make sure that you have a plan. Make sure that, even if you're going to go out, like, a few residents have wanted to go out in the middle of the night, freezing cold. They got to walk down the road to the nearest, store. I mean, it's not like crazy far, but, that distance at night in the cold or in the rain, that'd be a nightmare. You could end up dead because the car could hit them or something, They don't let them do that. Not that they don't let them walk. I mean, if they really wanted to walk, they could walk. But they really make them realize that that would be detrimental to their health and probably not the best idea to do in the middle of the freaking night. So I mean, they do care, I mean, and if people are really intent on leaving, they've, been like, look, if you really want to walk out that door, you've got nowhere to go. At least let me, get you, a ride there to a hotel and put you up for the night. And, you can come back, we can figure things out tomorrow or whatever. But that's the level that they'll go to make sure that you're not just put on the street, kicked to the curb, and some people choose that. But, in the end, it's all about your choice and, what you want to do. Let me address these because the comments are stacking up. Do I have a trust fund? No, I did get an inheritance from my dad when he passed in 2018. And I, started, a couple businesses, HK Land Development. I started Cali Career Co-op. I did a lot of community, outreach, trying to help people that were on, or that were, sitting on rugs, and got a lot of people, healthy. And, this place kind of has a similar mindset goal with a different angle of attack on it. But we both share a common interest goal in that respect. I didn't expect that when I came here, but did see that as a potential positive, and it's playing out really well, in that sense. Let me just kind of address, how did I learn about this place? I learned about this place from someone who was in jail that had been through here. Nobody's perfect. This place doesn't make you a perfect person. It makes you realize where your defects are and tries to help you, but they can't control you when you leave. So, I did meet someone that, was in Twin Towers with me, and they end up for me. And, I was trying to, but I came here legitimately, thought it was my best chance versus going to prison for 4 years or going to another facility that would kick me and thus send me back to jail. And, that could have been a death sentence for me because of the cancer. Let me see here. I'm just trying to go through the comments. They're stacking up quick. What's the personal question here? I'm just trying to, I don't mind answering personal questions. I'm kind of an open book. And then also too, once I, my wife and I had, a few disagreements, we split, but we're not divorced, we just, split. And, I ended up selling the house and paying, any money that was owed and this and that, and trying to take care of my mom, trying to, give my wife something to, at least take care of herself when we split. So I was left with very little and, just wanted to kind of restart. Plus I had to go back and take care of my mom. And when I went back to my house and took care of my mom, I ended up getting with this chick that was from Tinder, and she ended up seeing my life and what I had to offer and took advantage of that. And that hurt a lot. When I first went to jail, I the whole time, and still to this day, I still don't know really why she would do it. I was offering the things that she was asking for freely. And instead she just saw an opportunity to take that, out of nowhere when I'd offered it before and run. I had given her $5,000 maybe a week or two prior to when she extorted me and said that I had to empty the rest of my bank accounts and give me my grandma's wedding ring. And, I don't know why she did that. I offered that freely, before I, really was, into her. And, she proved to be the most untrustworthy, lying person that I knew. And I just still to this day can't believe it. But, in the end, I was really looking for love, and my wife, her and I's disagreements, resulted in, me feeling unloved, and, maybe I was just looking at it the wrong way. And I saw that I responded very poorly to a lot of the things that were going on in life. And, I had my part to play in it. And, I think, the advantage of the situation here at Graceland, even though I'm court ordered, is the fact that they're helping me identify that and set up healthy boundaries, set up, things that we have that we can work on, that we, set a foundation for us to be able to start talking again and really working things out, because I do love my wife, and I love my kids, dearly. It's just the fact that, we've gone through a lot and never knew how to communicate correctly, even though we could talk until the sun rose, you know, it was really sad, you know, and, you know, she's very passionate, I'm very passionate, and we love tough. And, you know, as a result, it would lead to a lot of disagreements, you know, when we would be set in stone, you know, in our stubborn ass ways. And, you know, that's kind of what led to the split, you know, and, you know, for me too, I was trying to provide for my family and thought I was doing the right thing. But in the end, it also was a negative for my family. At the same time, it was a positive. And, you know, we fought a lot about that. So, you know, it's definitely, it's a crazy, you know, life we all live, but, you know, this place gives me a lot of good insight, and people have crazy experiences here that, you know, they're able to share their insights, but in a positive, like, non-tearing down kind of way. You know, it's really beneficial. Let me go through this because I have 51 comments here. Let's see. And sorry if I'm not answering anyone's questions. I'm trying to get to the comments, and it's kind of hard to address multiple issues coming on at once quickly because there's so much to talk about, you know. Let's see. Scary when all the food was being delivered. See how far back I am, just so you guys know. I was afraid of doing something to it. No one did anything to anything that was delivered. It all got to us that I know of. Let's see. Who am I? My name is Jack. And, yeah, let's see here. Thank you so much, Robin. I appreciate that. Let me see. No, I don't have to stay here for 4 years, Lindsay. I literally have to be here until basically sort of how I choose. I'm dealing with personal issues. You know, I don't identify as an alcoholic or an addict, so therefore I'm not working my own program, but each case is different. So, you know, they want to see improvement in me, and I mutually want to see that improvement. So therefore, you know, I could be here 6 months to a year, just to give you a flat timeline on it, you know, but, you know, we're going to visit this at the 6 month mark. I started here on December 6th of this last year. So, you know, I should be able to know a little bit sooner rather than later how long I am going to be staying here. Let me see here. These comments coming quick. Let's see. Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, you know, I've got my ups and downs. You know, Valentine's was definitely difficult for me. You know, a lot of times I would get dropped off at my mom's house because my house is in Riverside, my mom's house is in San Marino, and so it was definitely difficult just getting dropped off and then kind of left there during different holidays and things when I should have been spending time with the kids. That's what I really wanted to do. Penosaurus, and my court ordered there 1 year. So the letter to the court was written for a year, and that is correct. The situation is and I found out from both my PO and Graceland that time is not necessarily set in stone, and it's a lot more determined on, you know, my progress here and where I'm at. So, you know, yes, it's true that in the court document it does say that, but at the same time, if I'm able to, you know, have that changed, you know, it is something that is in the cards that can be done. Probation is also offered, if I'm doing well, I can get outpatient. But I really want to accomplish some of my personal goals and my family goals before making that kind of a move. You know, and as long as, you know, and so far they have, but as long as those goals and things that we set are, you know, everyone's holding up their end, you know, including myself, you know, I've got no problem staying. You know, if I thought this was, you know, anything negative, I, you know, would leave, but I don't, you know. You know, everyone here thinks of leaving at one point, but, you know, we're all, you know, have some sort of therapy, recovery, addiction, I mean, you name it, to deal with. And there's reasons that we're here, you know, and it doesn't always have to be for addiction. You know, it can be for, trauma and just crazy court stuff in my situation. I'm not going to get into everyone else's issue, but needless to say, it's a case by case thing, and nobody wants to do this, in the sense that would you dream of being in sober living or a rehab or a therapeutic situation? Probably not. But sometimes life comes at us with curveballs, and that's when you kind of need help, even if you're not good at reaching out for that help. And sometimes life forces that help on you, and it's good to take that hand before you go off the cliff. And I'm was desperate in my own way for help, but not from rugs, but from for just seeing my kids again. There's nothing stopping me from seeing them except the personal relationship that I have with their mom, and I hope for that to change. So let me address some more of these comments here. Let's see here. So, to the person, there's a green heart, but it's not a therapeutic location. So if you're not an addict house, Graceland beneficial, again, it has a lot to do with other people that have gone through their experiences and offer them in a as much a loving and caring manner as they can. I've never had a therapist that I could get my wife to sit down with. Marriage counseling, etc. But this place actually is allowing me to explore the opportunities to talk to my kids. They encourage it, obviously, and they're trying to help me talk to my wife, set up that communication again steadily, and helping me remember that it's on her time, not mine. Not that I'm really pressing the issue, I just don't want to lose her, or at least lose contact with my kids, because they deserve having a dad. They're great kids. Let me see here. Go through here. Yeah, and as far as your comment, Robin, it's tough going through any kind of situation like this. I didn't have to go through hospitals except for I was shot 3 times and robbed. When I was partying, people decided to give me something that could have killed me, and take what I had. There's been a lot of situations, car accident in 2010 where I could have lost my life. I had a punctured lung. When I was robbed, there was, I was hit 4 times, and through that I could have lost my life. I don't mean by a fist. So, put 2 and 2 together, TikTok. But needless to say, thank you, Bella. I appreciate that. That's kind. Let me see here. How long have I been married? About 13 years. My eldest, between us two, is 8 years old. And my youngest, sorry, almost dropped something. My youngest is 4. And the one that I took on from her previous relationship that I consider my daughter, she is 14 now. Let me see here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm definitely doing well. I'm definitely in a good place, as best as I could possibly, ask for in my situation, especially, the fact that they go above and beyond to try to make sure that, my needs are met. It's not like a cookie cutter facility where, do this and this is going to happen and everybody does the same thing. It's really case by case, and that's very important to me. And, when I was doing, or when I was helping other people, I couldn't just give a blanket description to their problem and expect it to work, and that's what I like about this place, is that they don't have that blanket. It's, we have certain things that everyone's got to do, but when you're doing any kind of experiment or when you're doing any kind of sampling from anything, you take a baseline, and you establish common behaviors and other things that, let you get a good read on somebody so that you can help them. And, that's what this place will do is, find that baseline in people and be able to address their issues as they come up, as they get to know them better. That's very important. If you just tell people that this is going to work and then expect that to work, you're going to fail. Your success rate's not going to be that high. But if you're able to establish a baseline, really, check in and, hold people accountable for their mistakes and this and that, that's when it really starts to actually blossom into something good. And I think that's what this place really offers. Without that, they've put aside to help me, and help my mom too. She couldn't keep fronting the bill. I would have nowhere to go when I leave here because I moved back with my mom after my wife and I split so I could take care of her. And so I'm grateful for this place for, being so positive. I'm sorry, let's see here. I'm just trying to, thank you, Rottweiler Mom. It's great to see everybody. I definitely am trying to get used to being on live. I'm really, I'm very technologically savvy, but I don't go on live for various reasons for why I was working before. Let's just say I was, host a large website. I was, okay at programming. I was never, I wouldn't cheat people out of money, but I definitely didn't work for the law. Let's just put it that way. It's quite the opposite. But, I was growing up, I was in 6th grade. And, whenever I did get in any kind of trouble, what I noticed is the first thing that they do is they look at Facebook and social media. So I deleted mine. I don't use my real name on it or anything, so good luck finding me. You might find me every once in a while, but my posts are far and few, and your chance of actually being able to locate me would be near impossible. Let me see here. Did I test positive? No. They did give me Suboxone. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, but I'll just say that, leave it at that. But that was for a headache issue. I had been hit in the back of the head with a metal chair, and so as a result, everyone calls me Jack, by the way. But legally on my ID, no, it's not. But since I've been 4 years old, I have been called Jack. So, give you guys a hint on that at least. Now, as far as testing positive, I got tested positive for what I mentioned. That was given to me in jail, an injection for headaches. However, it also caused a lot of negative side effects, which I'm still dealing with months and months later. It got rid of the headaches, for the most part. I haven't had a debilitating migraine in a long time. I had 2 herniated discs in the back of my neck right over here. And that would trigger, headaches up to 3-4 times a day, maybe more. Sometimes I'd be down all day, sensitivity to light and sound. And it was a nightmare. And that was one thing that, made life, if I had to live that way every single day, it wouldn't be worth continuing. So, the fact that improved my quality of life is great, but it's not something that I would continue doing in that respect. I was in jail for 6 months. So as far as any other things, I did not test positive for anything else. I would normally test positive, for greenery, but I've used that to deal with my PTSD and other ailments for a long time. Very controlled. You know, and it's not something that ever interfered in my life or was an issue. Let me see here. Let's see. Why did I get mandated at Graceland? I'd addressed this a few times earlier, but since you're not up to speed, I will address this again. It is basically a chick that I got with on Tinder. Wife and I split, got with this chick on Tinder, and she basically extorted me for $5,000 and my grandma's wedding ring, which I did not give her, and she reported that that I kidnapped her, which was completely untrue. And at that point, yeah, I had to fight that for 6 months. The kidnapping charge got dropped in jail, and in order to be able to, you know, I thought this was the better, smarter option to just plead, you know, to a lesser charge and come here, and then when I got out, fight the situation and sue the person who put me here. So that's what I'm actively working on. As far as professional counseling, we're setting up therapy. I've more had better help from people who've gone through similar experiences as me, and really investing their time, love, and effort into making a positive situation with my wife happen. Let me see. I think there was a couple comments that I have Medi-Cal. Let's see. I was trying to scroll back here a little bit. Let's see. Sorry, Robin, I was going to address your comment and got kind of sidetracked. So, yeah, so you're married for a long time, split in 2003. We were good friends now. Yeah, I split maybe, I don't know, I'll say like about 3 years ago. And I haven't been able to see my kids in about 2 years. It's been crazy. As far as medical help for my cancer, I'm getting it looked at. However, I basically am just monitoring it, and I believe in holistic approaches to it rather than chemo, radiation, or surgery, which could have permanent life-altering effects or just flat out flatline me. You know, I'd rather go the easier route, most better route, and also too, in doing a holistic approach that would block the K receptors that actually cause the pancreatic cancer to get worse. So if you actually look up medical journals and research on it, that is what they have found. I am not on subs. Basically, I got a shot, and that was administered one time back in September. Not for any, addiction issues, but it was for my headaches. And, that really, really helped. I was very surprised that it actually worked as well as it did. I still haven't had like a full-on migraine like I used to. And as far as my stage of my cancer, I am not fully aware. Medi-Cal is very slow to make things happen. So, they said that they have granules inside and outside of my pancreas. I did have some blood in my stool. I have very severe fatigue where I just start falling asleep if I'm not. That's why I'm moving around a lot. I get tired. And let's see here. These comments are coming quick. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. Thank you, Robin. I really want to, let's see. Oh, wow. That's crazy, Robin. I hope it's not. My last imaging was just before I went to jail on June 25th of this last year. So it'll probably be within a couple weeks of that. As far as having let's see. Charlene, DX, forgive me for not knowing the lingo on that one. Does it mean doctor or rug of choice? do I have a plan for my next scan? They are looking at it sometime in the near future. I'm also need to go to pain management, physical therapy, and let's see what else was there. My legs swelled up from the sub, and so I have, what is it, edema or whatever it is in my leg. So that basically is going to cause me to revisit my heart issues as well. I had two different opinions from two different doctors. One that said I had 75% of my heart working with a leaky valve and the flow to go back, and therefore my heart was at about a 75% efficiency. The other one basically said that I was 100% healthy when it came to my heart. So there's that. Have I actually been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer? Yes. They just don't know what stage it's at. Jail put a pause on my testing for it. So, in trying to resume those tests, I also had other medical complications pop up with, my legs swelling and other things. So, and then also on the day of one of my appointments, I found out that my insurance had gotten switched and therefore I couldn't do any of my appointments. So Medi-Cal kind of screwed me on that one and we got it switched back. So I basically am due to go back in for those situations. Am I seeing a doctor currently? Yes. They do want to address possibly more pressing issues with my heart though, as my right leg is swelling. So, if I put on a sock, it's got like a big part of it and then it like tapers down where the sock is. And I never had that before I got that shot. But I was experiencing fatigue before. I was experiencing blood in the stool as of last September. And then I also had gotten out of a hot tub and just felt like I couldn't stand up and I was like passing out every time I stood up, just what began that testing. Pancreatic contract quickly if you've been well informed. I'm on Medi-Cal, so the information I've been given is limited to my own research for the most part. I do a lot of research. Let's just put it this way, for about the last almost 20 years, about 18 years, I've been in some form or fashion in the medical field, not in a doctor's office, but with holistic care, and put two and two together on that one, but needless to say, I can't say the word. But let's see. Oh, please play the song Up Above by Alexander Hibbs. Thank you. I don't know how to play that right now from here. I don't have access to the other sound systems here. Let's see. Well, the problem is that, I'm talking to none. Basically saying I implore you to find a professional healthcare advocate with medical experience related to pancreatic cancer. Oh, there we go, dropping stuff. Basically, I am trying to, I have an issue possibly with my heart as a result of previous stuff, leaky valve, heart murmur, and that needs to get looked at before cancer, which is going to progress slower than a potential heart attack. So trying to balance all that stuff out is infuriating with Medi-Cal. Let's see. Well, the problem is that my doctors, I would have to restart all my testing, and that's about an hour away, if not a little more. Let's see. Yeah, and Minty, I totally know that, let's see. Yeah, wait, actually, let me reread that. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I did a nuclear test, one nuclear test, and I did, where they chemically sped up and down my heart to test, and did imaging on that. And then I also did one on like a treadmill situation, and the one that was the nuclear test showed that I had the 75% heart function. The other one basically showed that it was 100% functioning, but when I was 15, I had been tested before and they found a heart murmur. So I tend to believe the 75% diagnosis over the perfectly healthy heart that couldn't find, or perfectly healthy heart test that couldn't find the heart murmur even. So Yeah, Care Bear. I definitely, I know, and that's also what got Steve Jobs too. You know, the whole thing is that I'm looking at chemo, radiation, or surgery, and those are options that I don't want to take. You know, I would rather just not do any of those. I really would rather take a holistic approach, but in a sober living, that's not acceptable. So my plan is to try to support my family as best I can, and then from there, once I, you know, leave this place, then I would focus on my more holistic alternative. You know, and if you actually look up the research on that, it does stop the progression in its tracks of that particular type of cancer. So it basically, there are these K receptors that it's blocks that the yeah, no, you're right, Mouser. It's very serious. Yeah, but a leaky valve won't go away, Patty. And that's kind of like what the heart murmur that I have is, where it's like back. Oh wait, do you mean that like they could test it and then it might not show up again on a different test? And as far as science, I'm a firm believer in science. Let's see, Charlene, what key type of cancer I have? It's pancreatic. Oh, okay. Thank you, Patty. That's actually really good to know, because one day, you know, like literally, like they lost my test results for the 75% one. I tried to get it for, I tried to get those results transferred over to my current doctor. My current doctor had me test with this other one. Actually, not my current doctor, the previous one to him. So that, you know, with Medi-Cal, they keep changing doctors. Yes, Missy Pixie, I do. But it's good to know. And so what they're trying to do is check out the leg swelling. And then from there, I'm going to probably get another test on my heart as well. Although the nuclear test was kind of freaky. It overheated me and made me feel like I was going to die the last time I took it. So I'm probably going to see what's up with another test and keep an eye on the heart situation. Thank you, Missy Pixie. As best as I can. Also, too, you know, the more that I focus on my work and, you know, making, you know, because if I don't focus on work, I'm not going to have anywhere to go when I leave here. My uncle's going to take my mom's house and put her in an old folks home. And I'd rather work and not lose time on my work than, you know, than just constantly be focused on my medical. You know, it would be a huge detriment to my situation when I leave. I would be able to focus on the holistic approach, which has been proven to work for my situation. If I transfer somewhere else, Mouser, what's going to happen is that they're going to basically have to restart a lot of the testing. So that's going to be the problem with transferring my care. I would, but then also too, when I leave, I wouldn't be able to be transferred back. And I had finally found a doctor that had found out why I was having the fatigue in the first place. Most people just tell me nothing. They can't figure it out. And this doctor actually went and, you know, got me MRIs, CTs, all sorts of things. And oh, I'm not worried about being sober anyway. I'm more worried about my personal issues. I don't identify as a addict or an alcoholic. You know, I'm here on court order just to catch you up if you didn't catch it. For 8 months, well, when I got here, they started giving me medical appointments right away. But the problem is I basically had other issues from when I was in jail, from when I got a sub shot. And that caused me to have leg swelling. So that's the heart issue thing coming back up again. So the doctor wanted to check that out, because if that gets to me before the cancer, then, you know, I mean, that can, you know, for sure kill you right away. Cancer, it can be fast moving with pancreatic, but it's still slower progressing than a heart attack. Yeah, subshot got my leg to swell up, and my heart is not functioning how it should. It already wasn't, but it exacerbated the issue. So, you know, it's like other things, can cause, issues with, your heart and, other things if you take them, especially, so, I choose to just deal with, the situation. Let me see here. Thank you, Robin. I really appreciate the love. And Care Bear, yeah, the whole thing is that, I don't know if you're experiencing a lot of downtime and this and that. I don't want to have that downtime. If this, if God forbid this is my last, time, I want to be out of bed, living life. And I want to be able to provide and work, because that's the only chance I have to make sure my mom can stay in her house and that my kids can get taken care of. So I'd rather go that route for those reasons. But to, his and her own, but at the same time, more just asking you, if you've experienced a lot of downtime or negative effects as a result of the chemo infusions, and how was your heart surgery? How did that go? I'm that whole situation scares me to death. I don't really want to get surgery, but heart thing, I might. I'm just trying to make sure I don't push that limit too hard. Let me see here. Thank you guys so much. No, I had one shot back in September, and I am never taking that thing again. It is one of the worst situations. Let's see. What do you mean I got all those words for food? I'm sorry, I'm maybe a little tired and lost on that one. When was the last time I saw the doctor about my heart? So that was a few years ago. However, I did talk to my general, main doctor, and he's referred me to a specialist to go check out my leg, but the insurance was pulled, and we just got it re-switched back. So some residents here were familiar with certain things, with the rides, and with the insurance and things. So we were able to get things switched back to how they should be. So now I'm in the process of also trying to set up my work and also set up my medical appointments. But, while I'm here, there's not a whole lot I'll be able to do, minus maybe deal with any heart issues. That would be more pressing than anything. But if I'm going to be out of here in 6 months to a year tops, then I figure I'm going to power through this place, watch the progression of anything, and if it gets really bad, do something about it. But until that point, I would rather take the holistic approach, unless it's absolutely immediately life-threatening. So that's where I kind of draw that line. Let's see. Honestly, the residents are a little reluctant on the dinner lives, because sometimes those things can get professional or get very personal. We're trying to address a way to do that appropriately. So, they're getting the residents' feedback. They're really not pressing that issue at the expense of the residents and their treatment. Let me see here. What brought me to get the shot? My headaches. So I had been hit by my wife's sister-in-law, and she's about 600 pounds and had a metal chair and hit me in the back of the head with it. Hit me right here in the neck. So it herniated a couple of my discs and caused excruciating migraines that would happen anywhere from 1 to 3 times on average daily. So that caused me to have a pretty bad pain issue. So, and what do you mean it's wasted time in the next 6 months? I mean, with the progression of the cancer, well, the thing is that if I get chemo, if I get radiation, if I get surgery in that time, then I wouldn't be able to work or function. And I can't do that to my family. So I would rather tough it out and, be free of any things that would hold me down from doing that, to be able to help support my family. So, to me, it's not wasting time if I'm progressing towards that goal. And once I'm out, I can definitely use a holistic approach to put a stop to the issue that I'm dealing with the cancer. So, that's the reason I'm saying that. I mean, I'm definitely open to people's input, but, the situation is that I live in a sober living that doesn't allow that to happen. and you're not going to find a sober living that does. So, that being said, if it was an open option, I would take it, and it's very effective and kills the cancer pretty quickly. Dr. Tashkin has proved that. That's why certain things in the state of California are legal. And that's what started a domino effect across the states. But at the same time, that's not something that's acceptable in a sober living environment, So, without crossing that line, I don't feel like there's too much I can do to treat my medical issues without really being bedridden. Without having to go to doctors constantly. I wouldn't be able to do my job. I'm, in production. So, if I take breaks from production, I lose clients. I can lose big contracts. And that's what I know how to do. I'm been shot 3 times, almost a 4th, which would have ended my life. And, from being robbed. And, so, getting a regular 9 to 5 is not really an option for me. So, I rely on, my knowledge with computers to get me through my life now at this point. And my other, more holistic job, if you will, once certain things became recreational, that kind of cut into my situation. So I had to relearn how to make money in another legitimate field, which I was proficient in computers. So, I'd always be messing around in my buddy's studio in Burbank. And, he took me under his wing, my mentor, and gave me a whole bunch of equipment. And, I was going through Full Sail University just to get the piece of paper that shows I know how to do what I'm doing. But, let me get to these comments though real quick. I don't know why you say it's brainwashing me. I've been to a place that brainwashes you. It's called Provo Canyon School, Utah. If you guys want to get on a facility, get on that place. If you guys really want to trash a place, you guys need to hit that place up, and, figure out how to shut that place down. It has the highest suicide rate in the country. I mean, it is a bad place. Here, nothing like that. This place actually tries to help people. So if there's anyone you guys should be trashing, get on their ass, please. Let's see. What do you mean, AJ? I'm definitely down to address that issue. Yeah, I mean, they'll let me do, what's Western medicine considers as, their version of treatment, but their version of treatment to me is a lot of times more treating the problem, not curing it. I'm about curing it, and doing it in a less invasive, less detrimental way that would allow me to function still, especially while I'm here. We still have enough residents. There were, I don't want to get into the numbers, just because I don't know how, that would be a negative thing, but at the same time, I just don't want to get into the numbers here. But needless to say, we have a good community here. And I don't work for Ridge Productions, but I possibly will be doing some marketing for them. We haven't actually had an informal agreement for that or anything. So, no, I understand, Care Bear. My whole thing is that, if I was in jail, I wouldn't have any treatment. Here I can at least monitor the progression of my cancer, and in doing so, I can make sure it's not getting crazy. I'm not a big believer in a lot of Western medicine in the sense that I believe in science, I believe in medicine, but I also believe in a pharmaceutical industry that is all about treating a problem, make millions off of it, and not curing it. So I've done my own research for almost 20 years and have found other more holistic approaches to the problem. So since I'm not allowed to do that here, and I agree that it, you know, would be wonderful if it would be an exception. I mean, it's not like I'm asking to light up. I'm more, you know, into making capsules. But you know, that's, you know, that aside, you know, they're making sure I keep an eye on it and giving me enough, you know, so that I can, you know, deal with my issues, you know, and make sure that I'm not just going to keel over, you know what I'm saying? So let me see here. You know, honestly, I would hope that the records were all digital, but it was a it was a very sardine packed facility that I went to, not for the cancer, but for the heart issue, for the 75% heart issue test. In that place, I don't know what the heck was going on with it, but I wasn't able to find my record that I had. I tried to contact that facility, but my insurance had been changed, so I have no way of figuring out which one it is offhand. A lot of my records were destroyed when I moved out of Hemet. I had a house in Hemet, house in Riverside, and I moved back to my mom's. And during that process, I had to consolidate about 3 giant storage units and 2 homes into my mom's home in San Marino. So that being said, it is a little bit difficult to maintain your records when that happens, and a lot of your stuff gets rained on in the biggest rainy season that we've had in years. So a lot of my stuff got destroyed. I lost lost a lot of things that were very sentimental and dear to me. And you know, I'm not gonna, you know, be working for them. I'll be working with them. You know, I'm a shoo-in to take over Cheetah Records. And I also do a lot of production work with Disney, Warner Brothers, you know, Rogue Pictures, Lionsgate. So, you know, I wouldn't necessarily be directly under Ridge Productions payroll. I would be an independent contractor contracting with them if I were to take any business up with them. And, you know, that I think also too separates me in the sense that, you know, I'm giving an honest, independent reading on the situation for you guys. Whereas, you know, I think a lot of you are under the impression that I'm, you know, working for them or something like that. And, you know, realistically, I'm not, you know, and quite frankly, I'm not at the stage of, you know, the treatment here. I've just got the status to be able to work. So, you know, we're working on getting my equipment over here and seeing what I can do so I can offer them my skills. And I don't mind doing marketing and production for them, you know, especially because, you know, while I'm on scholarship, you know, eventually if I'm making money, you know, it would be expected under our agreement to take care of the payments for here. So that being said, you know, at that point, I would want to work out some sort of agreement with them. But, you know, I think that, you know, they're being extremely generous in the situation that they've seen, you know, and even though our agreement, they thought one thing, when I got here, it, you know, might have felt a little different to them. They were willing to work with me, and it was very extremely positive. Let's see. Why so long? Because I was in jail for 6 months, and I've been here for a little while. Am I happy Nick's not interrupting me? Well, I mean, he stopped in to say hi. He's getting better with his personal life as well. So, you know, honestly, he's a good friend. You know, Nick's a good guy. You know, and, you know, as far as me not getting treatment now, well, Medi-Cal is very slow, and they canceled my insurance and switched it over to, from, what was it, LA Care to Allied Pacific, and then switched back. Hello.
What's up?
What's up? How's it going?
What's going? What are you doing?
I'm doing live.
What? Are you liking it?
Yeah.
Do you think it's better this way?
I like it.
Yeah.
You know, and I get a lot out of it. You know, I get to talk about things, you know, and they ask me questions and whatnot. I'm able to answer, and I don't mind being an open book and dealing with a lot of the haters on there. I'm able to actually share my personal experiences in my life you know, and, you know, talk about a situation that was absolutely what they try to make this place out to be and what it's not. You know, this place is great, you know, and it's honestly been very beneficial in trying to help.
You don't have to just say that to me right now, Jack, because
I know. Have I not been saying this live?
Defend his case? Because is he just fucking feeding me fucking trying to butter me up?
Here, go back to the most recent ones.
Yeah. That's rad. What were you guys talking about? You were just talking about yourself and like your journey?
Yeah, pretty
That's
much
rad.
my journey. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with Provo Canyon School, Utah, or I ever told you about that.
Wait, Heritage?
Provo Canyon School, Utah, where Paris Hilton went.
Where who?
Paris Hilton.
Oh, okay. Well, Heritage in Provo was another program just like that. I got sent to one of those programs out in Colorado.
So this one wasn't an outdoor wilderness. It was like
It's like almost like a boarding school for kids.
Yeah, where you wake up and go to school, and then they fly tackle you on the way to school. And like, so I was thrown in a concrete cell for 6 months.
What did they call it at your place?
What, the punishment? Investment.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They used to call ours TLC. Isn't that crazy?
And loving care.
Yeah.
Concrete cell.
Yeah.
So loving.
That's what they called it. I went to a program like that in Colorado for 14 months. How long were you at yours?
Year, 3 months, 11 days.
A year what?
A year, 3 months, 11 days. And, you know, when I was there...
So you and me we did around the same time. You just did a month more.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And it caused PTSD for me up until like just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's
getting
still
stripped of your freedom and the powerlessness of that, and just like being put in a place that's...
Well, try having big Samoans beat your butt every day. You know, I was literally crying sitting at a desk and learning the structure there from a binder, and I was ripped out of the desk. Back of my head was hit on a metal door frame. I was thrown into some lockers, stripped butt naked, thrown against a concrete cinder block wall, then was thrown into a cell.
It was co-ed?
It's called co-ed, but they have 2 campuses because Paris Hilton was sexually abused in there. And so they had to actually split campuses from Provo to Provo and Orem.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
They can't even have hot dogs there.
Really?
They're chopped up.
That's crazy. How long have you been doing this?
For a little while now. I'm not sure what the timer's at. But yeah, I've been handling this stuff.
Yeah. I know this was your idea. Yeah. What are you doing about your health?
So, I mean, realistically, if I'm going to have a place to go when I get out of here, because I moved back with my mom after my wife and I split. And so I was taking care of her and going to school, and also going to be a shoo-in to take over Cheetah Records. So that's why I have the production work and all the equipment that I'm going to bring.
Yeah.
So if I get into cancer treatment, it's going to be radiation, chemo, or surgery, which is going to have profound downtime. And that would completely negate any.
But are you at least you're meeting up? You've been going to your follow-ups, right? Because I've been seeing that with staff.
So like, you can't really see it too bad today. These socks are really loose. My leg was swelling because of the sub shot for my headache, and so we're revisiting my heart issues as well. So they prioritized my heart checks now as a result. They had me down to so it was heart murmur with a leaky valve, and then 75% heart function with backflow into my heart. So it wasn't pumping correctly. So like, there's a lot of times when I stretch and I get a natural high off of just stretching, because I literally like am losing like my circulation. If I'm like sitting there reading in bed or like on my like little PlayStation Portal, my hands start to go numb.
That's gnar. When do you have your next appointment?
So that's the thing. I had to reschedule everything. So I think it was like a week and a half ago, they switched me to Allied Pacific Insurance on the day of my appointment for the imaging for my leg. So,
because this is government insurance?
Yeah.
That's fucking...
But if I pay for it, it's going to be thousands of dollars that my mom and I don't have to deal with.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why I'm so focused on just trying to make it through the time here in that respect. And then treating it with my holistic approach, which actually it's been proven to block the K receptors, which actually are essential to pancreatic cancer.
I know, but we can't do that here.
I know you can. That's why do you think I said after I leave?
Yeah.
You know?
All right, I'm gonna what's it called? Get off this.
Well, bye, everybody.
Oh yeah. Say bye.
Have a good day, guys.
Tiny.